Hi all. In the last session, we have discussed on various components of curriculum. The major components such as objectives, content, curriculum experiences, and evaluation. So today in this session, we will see the details of Bloom's taxonomy of objectives. It's the first and the foremost component of any curriculum. As we discussed, aims, goals, and objectives. So we are going into the details of taxonomy of objectives by Benjamin S. Bloom et al. So what are the basic features of this taxonomy? Means the classification of instructional objectives. This classification meant for meaningful instruction or to attain specific behavioral changes that can be measurable as well as observable. So that's the specificity, that's the uniqueness of Bloom's taxonomy or Bloom's classification of objectives. And this Bloom's taxonomy having two versions. The first or the original version of taxonomy of cognitive domain in 1956 and a revised version in 2001. So there is a long process behind these original and revised versions of taxonomy. Anyway, it is a continually adaptive, modifying classification of objectives. And this classification is based on behaviorist theories of psychology, and it focused on behavioral outcomes. So objectives such as behavior modifications or attainment of new behavior. So instruction shall be directed for modification of behavior or attainment of a new behavior. Hence, the objective shall be termed as or in terms of specific behavior of the learner. That's why it is called as behavioral outcomes. So outcomes are stated in such a way. It specifies certain behavior of the learner. For example, the learner recognize something, some object, some names. Learner classify a set of materials or animals, objects into different groups. The learner explains. All these are some kind of learner behavior. And Bloom classify or develop the classification based on the expressions of each and every behavior. And these behavior, the sum of these behaviors are classified as in three domains, or the total outcomes, the knowledge can be classified as three domains according to Bloom et al., such as you know, cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. So these three domains includes various categories. Behaviors is again categorized under these three domains, and under each category we can see specific objectives or specific behavior. The categories are somewhat general. The domains are the topmost division, such as cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And under these major divisions, major domains, there are sets of categories for each domain: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, and each category having specific behavior, or we can state specific behavioral outcome. And these behavioral outcomes share something similar, or some behaviors or some specific behavior we can include in the current outcome based education also, but that is focused mainly on development of competencies or skills. But in Bloom's taxonomy, it's more comprehensive because it deals with the three major realms of knowledge, such as mental abilities, emotional abilities, as well as physical abilities. Thus, it is more comprehensive in nature. Now, let us see the categories under cognitive domain. In the first column, you can see categories in the original version, and the second column showing the categories in revised version. And there is a hierarchy. These categories are arranged in a hierarchy on the basis of its complexity, from simple to complex, or simple to lower to higher. Knowledge, the first or the basic category. Then comprehension or understanding, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So that's the hierarchy in the original version of cognitive domain taxonomy by Bloom. Knowledge, comprehension or understanding, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So when it get revised, it is like this: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So these are the 6 categories. Number of categories are the same, but the nature of stating these categories, names of these categories, and some order has been changed, that we can see later. So these are the categories under cognitive domain, and under each of these category there are specific behavior. Each learner has to acquire specific behavior, or the entire knowledge that a learner can acquire shall be divided into specific, observable, measurable behaviors as per this classification. Then the categories under affective domain. Again, starting from the lowest end: receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, characterizing. So there are 5 categories, beginning with receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, and characterizing. Unfortunately, this affective domain has been less attended in our education system. Actually, the affective domain or emotional abilities, emotional capacities shall be fully developed, because this affective aspect directly influence cognitive abilities. It influences our memory. But the system of education heavily relied only on cognitive domain, trying to attain cognitive capacities only without proper consideration of affective categories. Then the psychomotor categories. Categories under psychomotor domain, starting from the lowest category, imitation, then manipulation, precision, articulation, and naturalization. So imitation, any kind of psychomotor skill, it's a physical activity. The first step is imitation, because we are not proficient in doing something. Suppose you are uh, trying to ride a bicycle or a bike. The first one, or to drive a car, first one is imitation. When you are on the driving position, what all things you have to do? You don't know anything, so you just imitate, you based on your observation or as per the directions. Here, as per the teacher, if you are going to do some practical activity, then you try to imitate. If you are going to take a class for the first time, you may imitate the behavior of many of your teachers or any of your favorite teachers. Then manipulation. From that imitation, you will go further. You try to internalize some elements and you reach to a level of precision. You should learn how to handle things, how to apply a brake when you drive ride a bike or drive a car or something like that, or when you take a class, how to initiate a discussion or how to ask question. For asking question, the usual practice, it's a wrong practice. Teacher call a student upon her or his name first, then ask the question. It's a wrong practice. So if you are on a precision stage, you attain that stage in your teaching. Teaching also is there of course a mixture of various skills. The question shall be to the entire group or entire class. Then only you can point some or select some or ask to some specific learners. So that precision in doing anything, precision in cutting vegetables. Otherwise, it will either harm your fingers or it may not cut properly. And articulation, it is somewhat higher to that of precision. You have to improvise. Your own elements can be added, and the highest end is naturalization. It will become a natural process. It's become a part of your behavior because you attained such a state. So, for example, in case of uh, riding a bike, driving a car, or taking a class, uh, conducting a demonstration. As a teacher, you have to uh, carry out certain demonstrations for your students of some experiments. So, in all that cases that you have attained in such a state called naturalization, it is the highest end. So, these are the categories, 5 categories under psychomotor domain. So, the entire knowledge that a learner shall acquire through instruction are classified or categorized under the 3 domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Each of these categories are essential for the comprehensive development. So, what are the differences between original and revised version? I just mentioned there when we are talking about the categories of cognitive domain. So, in the original version, that original version of taxonomy is focused on product outcomes. So, the philosophy or the theory of the taxonomy at that time focused on product based approach, based heavily on outcomes. Outcomes are important. At the end, what we get. So, there is a philosophical change between this original version as well as the revised version of Bloom's taxonomy. The philosophical change is that it changes from a product oriented approach to a process oriented approach. So, emphasis is shifted to process. So, the revised version lay emphasis on process outcomes rather than the product outcomes in the original version. So, that's the most important shift. It's really a philosophical shift from product to process. Then in original version, the categories are stated as nouns: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and like that. But stating as verbs, because the stress is on process. So the nature of stating categories, naming the categories also changed as remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, etc. So that's another change according to the change in philosophy from product to process. Corresponding changes in stating the naming the categories as well. Then change in order. There is a change in order in the case of categories under cognitive domain in original as well as in revised. There is a difference. In the original version, evaluation is the topmost category. But in revised version, creating is the topmost category. Evaluating, the creating occurs after evaluating. So that's another difference between the original and revised versions of taxonomy. And with regard to objectives under the categories, there are specific objectives or specifications that we can observable and measurable, because the categories we mentioned either under original version or revised version as such, they are not at all observable or measurable, because all those are general. The knowledge or remembering, whatever it is, they are general statements or general terms. Understanding, it's general. It's not, we can't observe or measure it. So we have to describe it in detail or specify them in detail. So the objectives are in the form of behavioral terms. In the terms of human behavior, what a learner express, that's learner behavior. So expressive behavior, the learner talk, learner describe, learner conduct an experiment, learner draw a picture, learner make some models, articles. So all these are learner behaviors. So these behaviors can be written or expressed in written way as action verbs. So the verb to represent learner behavior are called as action verbs. So the verbs such as, there is a long list of action verbs under the 3 domains, and that specific action verbs shall be an inevitable part in an objective, because that particular action verb describe what actually the learner attain after learning something. And the most striking features of such objectives are they are observable, measurable, and attainable. The behavior shall be observable. The learner explains. So the explanation of learner, either oral or by written, that can be observable, of course, and it can be measurable as well. What shall be the nature of the explanation? Whether the explanation is correct, precise, comprehensive. So in such and such a way, we can clearly measure the quality of the explanation. We can rate the behavior, we can measure the behavior, or we can assign some score to the behavior on the basis of the various qualities of the behavior. Hence it is measurable, and it can be attainable. That also is important, because by the process of instruction or by the process of learning, the learner shall acquire some positive behavioral changes, to acquire some new behavior. Learning something means to acquire something new behavior. So it shall be attainable through various learning activities. So the details of how to write an objectives and what are the different types of objectives, etc., we can see in another presentation. And there are certain misperceptions or misconceptions regarding this Bloom's taxonomy. The Bloom's taxonomy is mainly or wrongly perceived only in connection with writing lesson plans, especially 4-column lesson plans, because the classification stress the importance of concept, objectives and specification, learning experience, as well as evaluation, the 4 basic aspects of learning. The 4 columns are only a matter of convenience. But unfortunately, majority perceived this Bloom's taxonomy as for 4-column lesson plan, writing 4-column lesson plan. This is not for like that. It's for proper process of learning or instruction. At that time, the original version meant for exclusively for instruction, because the perception at that time is learner learn only through instruction. In due course, it changes that learner acquire knowledge through some process. So whatever it is, there is a process of learning, and learner shall acquire certain new behavior, and the content specified is the way to attain that behavior along with specific experiences. And how far it is attained, that is checked by evaluation. So these are the 4 aspects of taxonomy of objectives by Bloom, and it is not merely for writing 4-column lesson plans. It is only a matter of convenience, because we can easily look all the elements of a lesson at a glance. That's the only importance of that plan, writing such plan. Then another misconception is that behaviorism is outdated. We are in a period of some constructivism and all, and so behaviorism is no more. It's not like that, because all theories have its own relevance all the time. No theory is completely full, completely support for substantiate the process of learning or process of instruction. So it's essential to take the best element of every theoretical postulation to the field of education for the benefit of the learners as well as the benefit of teachers. So it is not at all outdated. That's the reason why the outcome-based education, the recent change in the field of curriculum, OBE, the government of India adopted, signed a document to implement outcome-based education curriculum. So that also stresses to some extent it stress on specific observable measurable outcomes. it shares some elements or some aspects from Bloom's taxonomy as well, but more focus is on competencies and skills. The statement goes on in such a way that as well as the OBE gave less emphasis on input into a curriculum, such as in the form of teacher activity, learner activity, textbooks. Such things are less important in an OBE, but the learner shall have to adopt anything to get a specified outcome. It is so flexible, not rigid as in a product-based approach. So behaviorism is not at all an outdated theory. Then more emphasis is on stating than attaining objectives. So that's another problem. The lesson plan, the theory, the classification, the objectives are used only to write a lesson plan or such documents, and stating those objectives and the process for attaining those may not match in many times. That's another problem, another misconception. And the instruction or the process of learning is heavily concentrated to a single domain, that is cognitive domain. The affective as well as psychomotor domains are sidelined. That's one of the major limitation of the system of education. So that's the reason why learners may not develop comprehensively, because the entire knowledge is divided as three domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And affective change is required for long-term memory as well as for the psychomotor. The physical activities are very essential for successful life, personal as well as social life of the individual. But unfortunately, even in technical courses, the elements of psychomotor domain is very nominal. So more emphasis is on 80+% or to 90% or sometimes 100% emphasis in certain courses only on cognitive aspects, cognitive categories. So that is one major limitation. This may be because of partial understanding about the classification of objectives, behaviors by Bloom et al. So thanks for watching the presentation. Let us see in another presentation on details of how to write objectives. So thanks for watching. Thank you all.